Kia ora te whānau, hope you guys are well rested. Welcome to our humble abode. I don't always do videos of Adi in the background, but hopefully she throws out a few mana waves because the fans love that stuff. And you can listen to the sweet sounds of her breathing while she tries to do her front squats. She just did a max out set of 30 reps. What was that, 85? 85 kg deadlift for 30 reps. That's pretty unreal. And I just kind of stood there like it was nothing because she always does impressive shit, eh? She doesn't even wait for me to come home. She just does it even if no one's here. And then sometimes she just won't even say anything. She just, the work in the background, that lady. Anyways, I've lost my train of thought. What was I going to do? Oh, we were talking about weight belts. So this video, I'm going to show you a few different exercises that you can do to strengthen your core a little bit, but also, I guess, prep your core for using the weight belt and for performing heavy movements. Now, it's not all about getting a strong, I guess what you'd call external core or outer core, which is most people just see it as the beach muscles. You've got your abs, your obliques. Those are definitely very important. But essentially what we want to do is improve our ability at creating that intra-abdominal pressure that we spoke about last time in the weight belt video. So here's a few things that you can try with your core to hopefully improve your ability at engaging that area much better. So the first exercise we're going to use is just with a band. And for this banded exercise, you're just going to place the band around your waist in the same kind of position that you'd have your weight belt. And then you're going to expand your core. So we need to add some tension to the band. So we're just going to tie it nice and tight. And then we're going to be expanding our core just like this video here. When you're expanding your core, you should still be able to speak and breathe normally. You're trying to utilize the muscles in that area to create that expanding movement. All right. So we used to do these with Adi when she was pregnant, actually. It's called a belly pump. But I do like practicing it for whether you're pregnant or whether you're not pregnant because it just helps you to feel those muscles engaging. It's quite a simple exercise and it's actually very useful for when you're lifting heavy because it creates that support we need for our back. So that's one of the exercises we're going to use just with the band. If you don't have access to a band, you can use a belt or a piece of string. It does the same thing. Essentially what we need is the feedback, right? Obviously the band does create a little bit of resistance, but resistance is not really what we need. We just need feedback to know that we're expanding our core using those muscles. The next movement that I would probably practice as well is trying to expand the core whilst performing other core isolation exercises. So you have a massive range of isolated exercises. And when I'm talking about isolated, what I mean is you'll be doing an isometric contraction where you're not moving, but it is engaged or is contracting without moving. Something like a plank. You could use side planks. You could use normal planks. You could use wood chops, still kind of a rotational movement on that one. Maybe more like a powerlift press would do as well. There's heaps of variations of the powerlift press which will test your core strength. But yeah, using these different isolated movements or isometric contraction movements or exercises whilst trying to expand your core is a good practice as well because that's essentially what you are doing when you're performing heavy lifts. So, we can see in the background, Adi's performing a front squat right now. And during her front squat, she's got to keep her core engaged. And to engage our core, we expand our core. You hear that? That little breath she's taking each time? That is to create as much pressure she can into her torso because there's a lot of kind of empty sections that don't have bone or muscle that engages quite a lot. So muscle that doesn't engage quite a lot doesn't have structural things like bones holding that area the same way that you would inside your arm, so you have to create more pressure by engaging manually, right? So that's what she does. That's why she breathes like that. Essentially, you can do the weight belt and those other movements without breathing. It just helps to add the breath as well, because when we fill up our lungs as well as engage our core, it just adds even more pressure to the element that we're trying to train, or I guess stabilize through. So those are a couple exercises that we could use. Probably the last thing that I would try and do is using a weight belt or any kind of device that can stay on your midsection. I would put that on and then practice engaging your core whilst performing movements. All right, so the movement might be a squat or a deadlift or an overhead press. You could even do an Olympic lifting movement as well, like a clean or a snatch or a jerk, and practice keeping engaged through your core to stabilize a lot better. It's really good to practice with much lighter weights so you can feel the feedback from the belt or from the thing that you're using as you approach those heavier weights. We don't want to go to a heavy weight and then chuck the belt on and then try and do it, because we just won't be familiar with the sensation that you'll feel in your core section whilst you're doing those movements. Anyways, team, I hope that helps you. Take your time learning this. It's a brand new thing, and it will take a few kind of weeks to build familiarization with this, because it is essentially a new movement and you will be engaging in a different way. All the best of your lifting. Let's go.